It's a family show.
So I scream out for you to rescue me. Hold me in your arms and turn my nightmares into dreams. Wipe my tears away.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Joel. I'm the creator of the show called Helping Hand. We have a bunch of actors here tonight. We also have the host of this show, Mr. John Thieline, here as well. This is the second time we did a show like this. It's really about all the actors coming together in the show and telling a little story about their life situation or situation they know about life. A little story to help you get through the day and help you believe that there's a tomorrow. So, one of the first actresses that we have on the show, Kiana Charles.
Hello. Hello. I just wanted to talk about abuse. So I came up in an abusive home, very dysfunctional. Um, I am of immigrant parents. We hail from Panama in Central America, and so there was a lot of like drinking, a lot of abuse with the bottle, and sometimes some drugs and whatnot. Always some parties, and being that of coming from somewhere else and then trying to go to school in America as an immigrant, you have an accent and you get bullied on. So not only at home was there abuse, then in school there was the bullying. So as a kid, I wasn't allowed to be bullied. My grandmother always said that I'm the bully. You come home with your butt kicked, you better go back out there and kick somebody's butt. You don't be a victim. So that was trying to navigate through that. I've come across in life like people of like positive minds and always telling me, you there's always tomorrow, and there's always the storm don't last always. That was another thing one of my teachers said: the storm doesn't always last always, the sun will come out after the storm. You just, it's something that you're supposed to learn through this, because I wasn't allowed to cry, I wasn't allowed to tell the business of from the house, so you have to keep all of that in. And as a little kid, it's like I learned to be like cold face or don't show emotion, but then if somebody says a key word, it's over with. I'm crying. So it was one particular time I messed up and I said something happened at home because I came to school and I had a hand mark on the side of my face. And the teacher was like, "Well, how did you get that hand mark?" And I said, "I fell on my own hand." I fell down the stairs on my own hand. So she kind of knew that was a load of crap. And she took me to the principal and was like, you need to call this little young lady's household. And I begged and please don't tell, please don't. Oh my God, it's worse if the school calls my house. So long story short, it's like I learned to get an outlet, writing, singing, dancing, and then acting, because then it's like you can escape into another world in your imagination and kind of live, and then just keep like what I dreamed about having. Like my life now isn't that dysfunctional home I came from. I have a better life, and it's something to be proud of. I might not be rich. I might not have it all, but I have it all in love. And being on this show as well, it's like, oh wow, we get to participate in reaching out to people and being a part of a show that has that kind of warmth in it. So I'm just glad to be a part of that.
Well, we're glad you're a part of it too, Kiana, without a doubt. I mean, I know that Joel, as we talk about our cast members from time to time, And, there's really not a clinker in the carload. So thank you, for sharing that. And thank you for being part of it. And thanks, Joel. Hey, what do you say we travel across the Atlantic? Let's say hello to John Martin. It's late. He's about ready to get his. Well, for me, it's ugly sleep, but I mean, for him, it's beauty sleep. John,
Yes,
tell us about your helping hand ism, if you will.
yes. It's just after midnight here. Joel asked me to talk about the happy subject of divorce, and basically, as Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting the same result. So you might inquire why I got married twice. And first marriage, and I've been thinking about this, is looking back, it's quite a long way back, is that I was in lust at that point and met my wife doing a play, Our Town in Jersey. We moved back to England, and then she decided she wanted to find herself and went round the world, got as far as Mexico, where she still is. So that's an indication of how far people will go to get away from me. So when that happens, you feel your life's coming to an end, it all falls apart. And what got me through that were two things: friends and theatre. I think I did about 12 shows in 1 year. Then I met my second wife, and that was love. And we were together for 10, 12 years. That unfortunately came to an end with she suffered from endometriosis. We went through bouts of IVF. There were no children. And ultimately, well, as a friend, as an amateur psychiatrist diagnosed that she transferred all those bad feelings to me. Not that I was an innocent party in this anyway, because I was quite happily pursuing acting as well as working in insurance and studying for an MBA. So I was following my own path, and she actually didn't like and wanted me not to do the acting. So ultimately, we parted ways. And again, you feel that the world's come to an end, but it doesn't. And again, friends carried me through, kept going, and it made me realize what following your dream, what following your calling is, what your purpose is, and how that gets you through, and that you've just got to keep moving forward. And one book that I read came to mind when I was thinking about coming on here, which is The Alchemist by Paul Coelho, which talks about, it's a fable, but it talks about a young shepherd, Santiago, who goes off to find his dream. And the key message there is the importance of keeping going, keeping looking, because you never know how far you are away from getting that dream. You could be that close when you stop, or you could be miles away, but you've just got to keep going. That's vital. And the other thing, and I've been reading Barbara Streisand's autobiography. I decided not to listen to the audiobook version because apparently that lasts for 48 hours. But it is fascinating. But she says something in it, which I now know to be not totally Babs, but Goethe, which is, at the moment of commitment, the entire universe conspires to assist you. So it is important, vitally important, to commit to what you want to do, look for those opportunities, and you will get there. It might not be a straight path, but ultimately you will get there. Thank you, guys, for giving me the opportunity to talk.
Thank you, John. It's everybody has their own perspective. I heard a saying once: "We're all going toward the beacon." Here's the beacon. Some are coming at it this way, some are coming at it that way. Let me see here. There we are. There it is. There's the old beacon. But we're all going toward the beacon, and whatever that beacon may be, there's always some commonality. Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Now go to bed. Joel, let's go back to you for a second as the originator, as the creator, as the creative juice, as it were, behind Helping Hand and all that it's about. And it could be about so many things. I mean, I find myself finding Helping Hand-ishness all over the place. Joel, talk about it for a second.
Well, when I do these shows like this one, I see that in my mind, what I wanted to create, I created. You know, uh, I've written many shows and I've done many things in my life, but I wanted to reach out to people and I wanted to say to them, there's a tomorrow. Sometimes we forget that tomorrow's a day away. You could have lost money, you could have lost your wife, you could have lost your job, you could have lost your family, you could have been told something about your health, and you think that's the end of your life, that's the end of your world. The day's the worst day you ever had. But there is a tomorrow. It's all about life is about survival. It's about living and it's about enjoying life and it's about life getting better for you. So my whole idea about creating Helping Hands was to create unique shows every week with new characters, with the premise that someone has an issue, a problem, and his family and friends, and maybe even a stranger, because once he starts talking about his problem to other people and let them know what's going on in his life, hopefully someone comes around and says, you know what, I'm going to offer you my helping hand, which could be financial, it could be just listening, it could be understanding what they're saying, it could just be their friendship, could be that they give them comfort, but it helps that person get through their day and look forward to tomorrow. And I'm proud of Helping Hand because, you know, no one has the perfect life. Life is hard. Um, Life is stressful, and especially if you have kids, or your parents are getting up in age, or you have health issues, or you're not living from paycheck to paycheck like we all do. There's so much stress in life. But as long as you know that everyone is in the same lifeboat, there's no one better than you. Believe it, we're all in the same lifeboat, all trying to survive, and we all have problems and issues. So, that's why I created Helping Hand, just to say to you, listen to these stories. I'm not preaching to you. I'm not taking you to a classroom. I'm just giving you stories about characters and how they survived and how they look forward till tomorrow. And I think the show's really doing it, and I'm very proud of it. And I'm very proud of. We have 27 actors right now that participate in the show, and I'm very proud of every single one of them. So thank you so much.
Well, and the good news is that people do catch the show, and not just a couple few, a bunch, whether it's domestically here in the States or even internationally over in the UK and other places. We're on a platform. I always like to thank our friend Gene DiPiero, Gino, because his platform at HamiltonRadio.net goes worldwide. It's been around for nearly 28 years. So, big thanks to him for getting this word out, plus other entities, again, in the UK and beyond. Um, Before we move on, just very quickly, I had an opportunity to hear from a friend, not directly, but through social media, who our families were very close growing up. My mother and dad and her mother and dad. Her name is, we'll call her Emily. Emily's mother and dad. They were all the four of them were founding members of the places where the church where we attended in central New Jersey. And she wrote something very, very helping handish and kind of into the side door kind of a way. She lives down in outside of Philly. I forget if it's South Jersey or Southeast PA, and she goes to Philadelphia a few times a week. Uh, Yesterday was a bit different. She usually visits customers. She works with schools with things like yearbooks and diplomas and graduation attire and so forth. She loves. And here's a person who does love what she does. By the way, we were talking about that before the show. That not everybody loves what they do. Again, she works with customers and schools with yearbooks, diplomas, diploma covers, caps and gowns, all the stuff coming up for end of year celebrations, which is now for school. She gets to visit with teachers, administration, students. Um, you know, she never wanted to be a teacher because grading papers, forget about it. So she's been with this company since the early 90s. She's just a couple years younger than me. And she really prides herself that her customers are not just her customers, but friends, and some even turning into a bit of a family. Well, it was something that she was a part of yesterday. That was a celebration of a life, remembering a friend, a customer who was taken from the earth not by her choice. I guess it was some sort of a tragic situation. she paid her respect and she left, my friend Emily, and she couldn't stay around. She was overwhelmed, very overwhelmed. This friend of hers was only 36 years old. They were fast friends. They had each other's best interest in mind all the time. She was just a good egg, evidently, and I take my friend's word for it, because she's a good egg too. So she was really upset, and her heart was heavy. She didn't get a chance to talk to her before whatever happened. Didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Didn't tell her enough the positive impact that she saw that she had on her students, and the good she brought to the school building every day, summer, winter, rain, shine, whatever. Um, she was all about this. I guess this friend of hers, of Emily's, was all about the kids, all about the students. They even worked together, outside to make a makeshift venue during the COVID times to make things happen for senior photographs and caps and gowns and whatnot. You run into people, Joel and folks, that they help you. You help them. You give helping hands is the point without even knowing you're doing it sometimes. And this is what my friend Emily was talking about. So she locked it out with saying, be a little kinder, put things in perspective a little more. Her friend's not going to be able to attend the prom that she was planning at her school for the kids. She won't be able to get to the graduation ceremony, of course, that she was really, really spending a lot of time evidently putting together for a long time. Um, it's one of those things to where, like you say, Joel, yes, there is tomorrow. Okay. And sometimes tomorrow, it's an unhittable curveball. You have to learn to hit that curve, or you have to just know that, okay, there's another tomorrow coming after this tomorrow. And other tomorrows are really, really great. It's ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, ups and downs. Just do what you can to be a little kinder. It's tough sometimes. You do what you do, and you think you're doing great, and sometimes you stumble and you haven't done great. Well, do better next time. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just as simple as that. Um, there you have it, just a little perspective. Let's go on. Who's next up on the hip parade? Hey, Steve Tobias, how about tell us about your perspective on the helping hand?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I think I want to talk about what's bothering me, and that's actually retirement. You know, that golden era we're all supposed to long for, where we bid a farewell to the workforce, kick back, and enjoy the fruits of our labor. But what if I told you that for me, retirement isn't a dream come true, but actually a nightmare in disguise? Picture this: I've worked hard all of my life. I climbed the career ladder, I've achieved success, and then suddenly you're expected to hang up your hat and sail into the sunset. Sounds great, right? Well, not quite. For me, retirement is synonymous with loss. Yep, with loss. Loss of purpose, loss of identity, even the loss of mental and physical health. Why? Because our society has decided the myth of retirement equals happiness, and that it's only the ultimate reward of a lifetime of toil or of toil. Unfortunately, reality paints a completely different picture, at least it does for me, because retire for me has left me feeling disconnected, aimless, and frankly, bored out of my freaking mind. So I sat down one day and I gave it some serious thought. When I retired, I wasn't ready, but my health told me otherwise. All my life, I've worked. I've loved to work because I've always loved what I did. I would get involved in businesses that I enjoyed owning. I knew one thing: after retiring, I no longer wanted or needed to own my own business again. I wanted to work on my terms when I wanted to and not have to punch a clock. Tried a few different part time jobs, and then I found others like me that felt the same way. Thanks, Facebook. I soon discovered something called the unretirement revolution. This is a movement not just about economic necessities or staying busy, but it's about tapping into the wealth of experience and knowledge and wisdom that I can bring to the table. It's about recognizing that retirement doesn't have to be the end of one chapter, but the beginning of another, filled with new opportunities, passions, and adventures. So I decided to pay it forward and help other budding entrepreneurs, offering them my years of knowledge to help them start and grow their businesses. But it didn't stop there. One of my daughters got me involved in theater, and then I discovered my love for acting. Now, that dream of being an actor can become a reality. Oh, sure, I know I'll never be a big star, but it's sure an exciting adventure from doing local commercials, corporate videos, community theater, and of course, Joel and his show Helping Hands. They gave me a chance to try my hand at voice acting and script reading. For that, I thank you, Joel. So if you find yourself dreading the idea of retirement, you're not alone. But remember, you have the power to rewrite your own story. Embrace the unretirement revolution and create a future where growing older isn't about fading away, but shining brighter than ever before. Thanks so much for listening.
Thank you,
Thank
Steve.
you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Ryan Evans, how about it?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey,
Wow.
hey. Here's a guy, folks. Before you go, before you do your thing, here's a guy, folks, who he offers his helping hand too, in several different ways. Sometimes, as a female voice. The beauty part of it is, in all seriousness, whenever he's called upon to step up, like we all do, quite honestly. But just lately, it's been with Ryan a little bit more than usual. Ryan steps up and does his thing and makes it sizzle. Ryan, how about it? Talk to us.
Do what you got to do, John. It's part of the murder loving comedy helping hand family.
Correct.
We got to help out your family members.
That's it.
Yeah, my thing today is about the lack of common decency with just the general public anymore. Whether you're driving, you were talking about road rage last week, John.
Yeah.
It's more prevalent now than ever, and I think a lot of it has to do with social media, the internet, and that the whole me thing. But I think Helping Hand is a great show. It kind of gives you a perspective on other people's problems. So when most of the time, people are so quick to, hey, you jerk or whatever. Maybe if you're listening to the show or just have it in your mind that maybe someone's going through something that's not okay and they need a hand. And being an actor on Helping Hand is a great honor to me because hopefully in some way I can help somebody have a better day and maybe get over a little bit of their problem. I'm not saying get over all of it, just a little bit, and it'd be great if everyone could just get along, but that's not going to happen. But I like the fact that I get to participate in something that helps people and maybe gives them a little different perspective on someone else's problem in a way that they may not have ever even thought of. If they listen to the show, they say, oh, wow, maybe that guy flipped off today. Maybe he has, maybe his wife has cancer or something like that. All in all, I just wish that, I want people to be kinder to each other, be nicer to each other. And in the words of the late Jerry Springer, till next time, Take care of yourself and each other. That's pretty much it.
And there you have it. Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, it's a bugger. It is a bugger. It's yeah, driving on the interstate like I do every day. Shit, I see it all. I'm sure you guys do too. Tim McGrath, how's about it, sir? Let's hear from you.
I'm here to deliver a message to friends. I, like all of you, I'm sure, feel like I have the best set of friends in the world. And with the preschool with them, it's about 50 years of just memories and a foundation that cannot be broken. Got about 4 or 5 that are serious alcoholics, which is what I'm going to talk about. And that's alcoholism, the disease. And they're absolutely taking too many painkillers as well, which is not good. The message to them is simple. You have lost, all of you, individually or collectively, wives, jobs, money, your friends who don't want to watch the train wreck anymore, your family that doesn't want to watch the train wreck anymore. And I would ask you, make a pro and con list. On the one side, the pro. I can get drunk every day. Well, let's look at the cons. I'm alone. I'm isolated. My family wants nothing to do with me. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. And this can be for everyone else who's listening to this. This is a disease that you can overcome, but you can't do it alone. You need the support of a group. And I can promise you, your friends will turn, in my case with these guys, we will turn around and champion their sobriety and help them every single day. You can't do it by yourself. And this is a message to anyone else who's listening. Think about the people you're hurting, the disappointment, the fact that you're isolated. You have a disease, but the good news is you can beat this disease. You can beat this disease's back with a broom. And you have to do it collectively with a plan. For example, every day. How about this? I'm not going to think about next week or next month. I'm thinking about today. I'm not drinking today. I'm going to take it one day at a time, and I'm going to be better off for it down the road. Thanks for listening, guys.
No, it's true enough. Another day, another way. I mean, it's
Thank you, Tim.
Sure.
It's all about others offering helping hands, and that's what you are certainly talking about. Hey, how about the great John Plunkett? Channeling my inner Al Davis, so to speak. There he is, the great Jim Plunkett. Not tonight. We have the great John Plunkett. Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
Yeah, talk about it. Let's hear from you.
John, that was a great segue because my thinking is one of positivity tonight. But before I go there and share a couple of passionate comments, I wanted to share to Joel and to Gino and everybody else on the show that's here this evening and on other shows, the courageousness to step up and participate. When Joel first presented, and I've known Joel a long time, we've been friends a long time, family members, coaches, etc., have been through it. And when he had presented Helping Hands just as a concept, I instinctually knew I was automatically in. All I have to do is reflect on my own life. I can reflect on my own life from my personal standpoint, the earlier innings in life, right to the current, and likewise on the professional side. I didn't get to where I am today all by myself, the great I. You know, there were plenty of people along the way. And like some of us, I come from dysfunction and trauma. And sometimes you just dealt some cards and you play the hand that you dealt. And then you're given choices. So I think being a part of Helping Hands Live here, May 16th, 2024, prior shows and future shows to come is an absolute gift to bring hope and positive energy to folks that are out there, not only, as you say, John, domestically, but around the planet, whether it's across the pond or wherever it may be. Because at the end of the day, we're all human and we do need, I think, and yearn for 2 things, and that's love and security. And last time I checked, we can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. You know, so a couple of things just in the positive vein. I was voted class optimist in high school, and I was taught so many things along the way that I wanted to share here, you know, within a couple of minutes. And I think words absolutely matter. Words like resilience and perseverance matter. And if you don't have a dictionary, go find one in your house or on your phone. I have a couple in my office, and you know, this is how I learn. And I've been around some very impactful people that have taught me there's always one more thing I could do to try to stack the deck in my favor. And it was articulated earlier on this gathering this evening, being a brother's keeper or a sister's keeper, back in the theme of helping other people the same way that folks have helped me, and that's very much in my DNA. And another component in the DNA is to never give up. Back to helping hands. I mean, my mother was a warrior. I'm one of 6. Sometimes in the middle of the night, we had to leave the house because it was dangerous. And there was somebody always there to help us out. And we never gave up. I mean, we were taught that. And we were taught to have faith and to keep the faith and keep hope alive. Not easy. It was practice, practice, practice. And guess what? In life, it still is. I think Tim touched upon it earlier. So looking back over my life, I'm so grateful for all the folks that have helped me out personally with their helping hands to help me, because I've had choices along the way to go dark or not, and I choose never to do that. Although don't misread me, I'm still very, very human. So for anybody else out there listening tonight, if you see a first responder out there or a veteran, wherever it may be where you live, be grateful and thank them. They're just as human as you and I. They bleed red and put their pants on the same way we all do. And so please love up on them and be kind. Ryan touched on it. Be kind. You, me, us, we all have choices, but we have relationships, and words really matter. And most of us are aware of it's only about 6% of us remember what people say, but about 100% of us remember how people make us feel. So hence back to the accepting a helping hand when we do this on the show, but in real life, because that is the deal, because the sun does come up tomorrow. But it might be behind the clouds. It might be a cloudy day, but back to being an optimist. The sun's still up there, and this too shall pass. So please continue to tune in and keep the faith and stay positive. Fake it till you make it, and we'll see you on another day. Joel, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank everyone.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. I mean,
that was a great show.
You touched on a couple of things, and just to lock it out before we say good night, or so long, or goodbye, or good morning, or wherever you are, there's a thing I told my son from the time he was old enough to comprehend, whether it was bedtime or dropping him off at school, or whatever. The B's. I called it the B's. There are many B's. Be good, be nice, behave, be kind, be patient, be respectful. Here's B number 7. B number 7's a big one. Be a friend. Be a friend. But take no undue garbage from anyone, ever. Now, if you deserve it, take it. Learn from it. Be resilient. Be steadfast. Be positive. Be upbeat. And always be your best. Living by the B's, is not a bad thing. And B number 7 is, to me, one of the biggest ones. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for the folks who are tuned in, Sharon and John and Karen, I believe, Kathy, rather, who have popped in and messaged during the show here. Thanks for checking it out. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Always keep it going. Don't give up. Never give up, because, success, positivity, upbeatedness, good cheer is right around the corner. It's coming. Believe me when I tell you. That's our show for tonight. Thanks, Joel, for this little forum. And we'll catch you next time right here on Helping Hand. See ya.
See ya.
Take care, guys.